Welcome to English Page. Today, I want to share a motivational story with you. It's not about fame or fortune. It's about something simple, something powerful, the power of showing up. Whether you're learning English, chasing a dream, or trying to improve yourself, this story is for you. Let's begin. There once was a young man named Daniel. Daniel lived in a small town with big dreams. He wasn't the smartest kid in school or the most talented. He didn't win awards. He wasn't known for being the best at anything. But he had one thing most people didn't. He showed up. Every day. Daniel loved music. He wasn't great at it. When he started playing the guitar, he struggled. His fingers hurt. The chords didn't sound right. Others picked it up faster. Some even laughed at how clumsy he was. But Daniel didn't stop. He told himself, if I can't be the best, I can still be consistent. So every day after school, he practiced. Not for hours, just 20 minutes, rain or shine, tired or busy. He made it a habit. A simple rule: just show up and practice. 1 year passed. Then 2. Daniel still wasn't the best. But he was better. He could play songs now. His fingers didn't hurt anymore. He even started writing his own music. At school, there was an annual talent show. Daniel signed up. People were surprised. Daniel? He's going to perform? Some students remembered how he used to mess up the simplest songs. The night of the show arrived. Daniel walked onto the stage with his guitar. The lights were bright. His heart was racing, but he smiled. He began to play, and it was beautiful. He played a song he had written himself. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. It had emotion. It had heart. When he finished, there was a pause. Then, the audience stood up and clapped, not because he was the best musician, but because he had grown. They had watched him struggle. They had seen him show up day after day. And now they saw the result. After the show, a teacher came up to him and said, Daniel, your music inspired me, not just because of the song, but because of your journey. You remind us that consistency is more powerful than talent. Daniel didn't become a famous rock star, but he kept playing. He started teaching music to kids who felt like they weren't good enough. He told them, you don't have to be amazing today. Just show up. Practice. That's how you grow. Years passed. One of his students became a musician. Another became a teacher. One simply played music at home for joy. But they all remembered what Daniel taught them: keep showing up. Let's pause here. Think about something you want to do. Something that feels hard. Maybe it's learning English. Maybe it's starting a new skill. Maybe it's exercising or reading more books. The truth is, motivation comes and goes. Talent can help, but it's not everything. What really matters is showing up. Again and again. Even when it's boring. Even when you're tired. Even when you feel like you're not improving. Progress is invisible at first. It hides in the small efforts. But one day, like Daniel on that stage, you'll realize how far you've come. There's a quote I love: success is not about doing great things once. It's about doing small things consistently. You don't need to take big steps every day. Just keep moving forward. So if today you studied one English word, good. If you watched this video and listened until now, great. You showed up, and that's what matters. Let me tell you another short story. A woman named Maria wanted to run a marathon, but she had never run before. She couldn't even jog for 5 minutes. But she made a promise to herself: walk for 10 minutes every day. Not run, just walk. Some days it rained. Some days she had a cold. Some days she didn't want to move. But she kept that promise. 10 minutes. Just show up. 1 month later, she walked for 20 minutes. 2 months later, she jogged for 5. 6 months later, she ran her first 5K. A year later, she completed a marathon. Not because she was fast, but because she showed up. When people asked her, "How did you do it?" she said, "I didn't. My habit did." Your goals are possible. Your dreams are not too big, but they need you to show up. So, whatever it is you're working on, learning, healing, improving, I want you to remember Daniel. Remember Maria. Remember yourself. You showed up today. That's powerful. And if you keep doing that, you'll go farther than you ever imagined. Let me share one last story. There was a young woman named Amina who dreamed of becoming a writer. But every time she opened a blank page, she froze. She didn't think her words were good enough. She compared herself to famous authors and felt small. But instead of quitting, she made a rule: write one sentence a day. Just one. Even if it was bad. Even if it didn't make sense. One sentence became a paragraph. A paragraph became a page. A page became a chapter. 3 years later, Amina finished her first novel. She didn't get a big publishing deal, but she printed it herself and gave copies to her friends and family. One of those friends shared it online. It spread. People loved her honesty, her voice. She was invited to speak at schools. Students asked her, "How did you become a writer?" She smiled and said, "I wrote one sentence at a time." Showing up doesn't mean being perfect. It means choosing to begin over and over again. Let today be the day you begin, even if it's just a small step, even if no one sees it. You see it, and that's enough. Let's go a bit deeper. There's a man named Omar who always dreamed of learning how to swim. As a child, he had a bad experience in the water and avoided pools for years. But one day, in his 40s, he decided to face his fear. Omar signed up for beginner swimming lessons at the local YMCA. The first day, he stood at the edge of the pool, shaking. But he showed up. He put one foot in. The water was cold, unfamiliar. For weeks, Omar didn't swim. He just stood in the shallow end, learning to breathe, learning to float. Other people swam laps around him, but he didn't compare. He just kept showing up. A few months later, Omar swam across the pool. It was slow. It was clumsy. But it was swimming. He cried that day, not because he was proud of how far he swam, but because he finally faced what scared him. His journey wasn't about swimming. It was about courage and consistency. Years later, Omar took his kids to the beach. They had never seen him swim. He jumped into the waves with them, laughing, free. That's what showing up can do. Another story. Layla, a nurse in a busy city hospital, found herself exhausted every day. She loved helping people, but the stress was overwhelming. She felt like she was burning out. Instead of quitting, she decided to start writing one positive thing from her day. Just one sentence every night. Today, I made a patient smile. Today, I helped someone walk again. Today, I listened to someone's story. She kept that journal for years. And even when days were hard, she remembered her purpose. It kept her going. It helped her see the light, even in dark places. That small habit, showing up to write a sentence, reminded her that her work mattered. We don't need to move mountains to change our lives. We just need to take the first step, and then take it again. Before we end, here are 10 useful English expressions from today's story. Show up, to arrive or be present. Struggle, to have a hard time doing something. Consistency, doing something regularly without giving up. Inspired, feeling motivated or moved emotionally. Progress, improvement, or moving forward. Habits, something you do regularly, often without thinking. Courage, the ability to face fear or pain. Burnout, extreme physical or mental exhaustion, often from work. Face your fear to do something, even if it scares you. Clumsy, moving awkwardly, not skillful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And remember, the most powerful step you can take is the one you take today. See you next time on English Page.